Well, everybody, apparently there's a little bit of an update on this Kratom thing with the DEA. It's not a very, there's no good news here. I remember, the DEA, they said, well, don't even bother voicing opposition because we just shut our mics off. We can't hear you. So anyway, though, there is some attention being drawn to it, and in the Congress, in fact. This is from David DeSalvo from Forbes. The DA's deadline for placing kratom alkaloids on the Schedule 1 controlled substance list grows closer, and the outpouring of support for the ancient plant grows louder. More than 130,000 people have signed a petition on whitehouse.gov to keep kratom legal. The kratom community in the U.S. is coming out in force to oppose what it views as government overreach and that it will endanger lives. I believe it will. I mean, if your alternative to kratom is opiates, then you might die doing opiates. We all know that. They know that too. That's why they're doing this. The effort is drawing the attention of two congressmen in particular who have penned a Dear Colleague letter asking the DEA to delay a final decision on the placement of kratom on Schedule 1 and provide ample time for public comment on this significant decision. So you might just get congressional hearings or even just a regular session of Congress where a few people, either for or against it or both, get up and say some things, and then it still happens. Who knows? But it's something. It's an effort, and the agency is not trying to even comment on this. Really, they've said their piece, and they're just sitting back waiting for the day to come when they can say, okay, it's time to start busting people for kratom. And a lot of it is the there's obviously the manufacturers of kratom, and just because I've heard that this was all coming down the pipe, I went ahead and got some. And I guess these guys are OPMS, which is anyway, here's the liquid. It's like an extract form. It's a little tiny bottle, and then they also make you can see the little kratom leaves on them. Capsules. So yeah, I mean, I've never heard of this stuff before all this came down the line. So now I'm not into opiates. I use medical marijuana for pain. Does all I need for it to do. But I'm mad about this. I'm mad as hell. I mean, no reason to start putting benign substances on Schedule 1 just because people are not, people are getting off of opiates using it. People are using it for the same thing that you might use opiates for. So the opiate corporations that manufacture these death pills that are killing people from overdoses and making people turn into heroin addicts, those people are mad as hell, They hear somebody's out there doing a kratom that grows in the ground and no one can regulate it. Oh, you're doing that instead of, my shit that I had to go through all this shit to make my billions of dollars off of while stringing people out on opiates. Come on, man. It's obvious what's going on. And now these two congressmen, Mark Polkan, he's a Democrat from Wisconsin, and Matt Solomon, from Republican from Arizona. So this is a bipartisan effort. They drafted a letter which will be circulated to every member of Congress. And we urge you, the kratom community also is now and is reaching out to their representatives, the people that they know. They're telling the kratom community, I'm telling people that might be watching this video, get a hold of your congressman. Tell them to sign on to this. It's not too late. I mean, they were talking about today or Monday being the deadline a couple days ago. I'm saying the deadline ain't the deadline until the DEA's final say, which has already been said that I believe at the end of this month, that's it. Like on October 1st, Kratom's done, you know, so it's not that yet. By the time you see this video, it might be, but even then, I'm gonna, if I forget, I'm sure eventually I'll do it, but no, if not, find it on Reddit. Go to Reddit and Kratom, and there's this Pocan Solemn letter, and Solemn is Matt Solemn, so you got Pocan, P-O-C-A-N, and Salmon, S-A-L-M-O-N. That's the letter. Tell your congressman or whatever, sign on to that, you know, whatever. Hopefully, the DA always comes back with, oh, there's been all these increases in calls to poison control and centers involving Kratom, published blah blah blah, CDC, that there's been people that died from it, 15 people between 2014 and 16. No, it's not true. People that have died with Kratom in their system had other things in their system that were also toxic, Kratom has never been proven to be toxic. There's no real proof that a Kratom-only overdose that resulted in death exists, period. 14 of the 15 alleged Kratom-related deaths cited by the DEA involved other drugs. There you have it. Again, and the DEA will tell you, yo, we don't look at statistics and public opinion and all this and that. And I mean, the FDA, we kind of use them as a guide, but we don't even use their recommendations. Well, what are you going by then? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to say that we don't listen to public opinion, we don't listen to the science. Well, in the case of Kratom, they say that we couldn't listen to the science because there's not enough there. Well, guess what? If they make it illegal on Schedule 1, there's not going to be any there because there's not going to be anybody studying it. It's not going to be allowed by law. So I would recommend going my link down below on the Reddit link, and they'll tell you what to do to tell your congressman to get on board with this. Sorry I'm such a latecomer to this letter thing. I just found out about it last night, and I just got around to doing this video today. So it's already Wednesday. What can I do? You know, I mean, every little effort counts, maybe, I guess. I'll be doing this when I wake up. Get a hold of your representative and tell them to sign this letter, because it's the only hope that the Kratom community has against this, once again, unforeseeably unreasonable, just invisible hand of doom coming in and declaring that everybody that's involved in Kratom is all of a sudden doing criminal activities, when in fact they were doing it because it was saving their lives in some cases. In other cases, people are just using this recreationally or as a pain med that was a safe alternative to the ones that can in fact kill you or make you addicted to other drugs. And I just don't understand why there's nothing we can do about it. You know, I mean, it's the DEA. They're supposed to work for the people, and it looks like, again, the level of corruption that we have in the government right now is the government doesn't work for the people. Nothing in the government works for the people. These are all working for their interests, and in the case of the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Industry. Did I say industry? I'm sorry, I meant agency. They're working for the pharmaceutical industry. They're their personal thugs that go out and do the evil bidding and shut down all the natural remedies and the things that actually work, while protecting the drug companies that are making the slow killers to keep you alive, slowly dying while they make billions of dollars, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it. There's no way that we can say, hey, DEA, work for the people. You know, here's what we want you to do. It doesn't work like that, man. Until we find some kind of a lobby arm that's going to control the DEA, it exists. We need the DEA to not even exist. That's step one in the drug war. Get rid of this drug enforcement agency. Because drugs in general should always be treated as a health issue and not a criminal issue.